Remember Me, Prelude, Shrove Tuesday. A spiritual writer summarizes man's primary business, his duty towards his soul, the breath of his creator. In the words Remember Me, he reminds us of he reminds us of a longing desire of all men to be remembered by their friends on earth, and leads up by this consideration to Christ's command, since Christ is God as well as man, that we should remember him. It is the substance of his culminating address, the one before his passion, the one in which he gave the means to remember him perfectly. Now, as our reception of Christ's body and blood in Holy Communion is to the masses we hear, so by analogy is Lent. Is Lent the time of our more complete recollection of his sufferings? To the rest of the year, it is a more perfect way. Let us then accompany his servants who shall act as guides, pedagogues, to lead us as some member of a great man's household led his children to school in the old Roman days. Let us walk daily to school this Lent, to learn more perfectly than we have hitherto done the science of remembrance. Let us hasten and do that now, which may be expedient for us forever hereafter. Saint Benedict. Hi, everybody. Um, we're not in Lent yet, but I wanted to give a welcome to the little series that I'm doing. Very crass, very cheap, but I want to welcome you guys. I just wanted to go straight to reading without doing any introduction. I think that's what I'm gonna do in the series, but we'll see. I might change it so it's not the totally exactly what I'm gonna be doing. But anyway, that was the reading for the Prelude Shrove Tuesday, which is where we're at right now. We're in Shrove Tuesday. We're in Shrove Tide, uh, Mardi Gras. It's Mardi Gras, but we're not secularists, so we're not going to be celebrating the way everybody celebrates. Um, I hope all you guys are ready, and I hope you guys are all thinking about what you're doing for Lent. I know I am, and very interesting. I wrote some notes when it came to this. When it came to this portion, like I said, we're in Shrove Tide. Shrove Tide is the Monday and Tuesday immediately following the Quinquagesima Sunday, which was last Sunday. It is named so because people went to confession. It's called shriving to consult their spiritual directors about fasting. So we have to get spiritually prepared for Lent that's coming up tomorrow for Ash Wednesday. Shrove Tuesday is the day after Ash Wednesday. That's today, Shrove Tuesday, and it's the day before the beginning of the Lenten fast. Um, just giving you trivia here because I think it's interesting. I think all Catholics should know where these words come from. So if I give you guys definitions, it's just so you guys know what's going on because all Catholics have to have this information so they can answer whether it be people who are not Catholic or whether it's just your family who have drifted away from the church and they might be interested in coming back. So as Catholics, we need to have those answers because if we don't have those answers, I think people are going to say, hey, you don't know anything. I don't want to go back to church. But anyway, I was always interested in the word Lent. When I was younger, I was like, Lent. Why is it called Lent in English and then in Spanish it's called Cuaresma? Like, what's going on? But Lent is from the Anglo-Saxon word lengthen, meaning spring. So that's where that's come from. So that's kind of what we're preparing for. We're preparing for spring. And another trivia, Carnaval. If you guys want to know, Carnaval, the 3 days preceding Lent, which are a time of celebrating before taking on the penance of the Lenten season. But I think today, I don't think we should be going too hard celebrating Carnaval the way people like to celebrate. I think it's gone out of control. But anyway, going to the readings, the part that I want to talk about is the last part. Let us hasten and do that now, which may be expedient for us in the hereafter. So, got my notes right here. Let's talk about man's primary business, which it says in this first reading, his duty towards his soul, the breath of his creator, right? We have to remember that we don't belong to ourselves. I know that's not a very popular thing to believe in this day and age. Like, we don't belong to ourselves, we belong to God. And this is why, I mean, I'm not going to get into it right now, but this is why we don't have absolute freedom, because we don't own ourselves. God owns us. And just again to remind you, to get you mentally and spiritually prepared for Lent, like Christ asked us in Lent, in this time of Lent, to remember Him, to remember the sacrifice. And Christ invites us to make sacrifices ourselves. Maybe I'll touch up on, after I'm done with the notes, maybe I'll touch up on other things like ways we can sacrifice. But, a way to remember Christ is, like, we also cry to Christ. We also cry to our Lord, just in the same words as Saint Dismas did. Lord, remember me when thou shalt come into thy kingdom. And I think Lent is a good time to remember that we are also crying for the Lord. As Catholics, we don't believe that we are instantly saved. The process of sanctification is not an overnight thing. Neither is it it's not instantaneous. It's a process. Um, the grace from baptism is just the first step. That's not to say that Christ's sacrifice was not enough. It's just to say that we have to show God that we have to die to ourselves and pick up our crosses. So anybody who disagrees with that, I would just say, like, it's not an overnight thing, right? And you just can't say, well, I'm saved, and then go and become a degenerate. Can't do that. So anyway, um, I think the best ways to remember Christ, and something maybe that could inspire you guys. I think I'm going to try to do this because I haven't really been good at it. I spend some time with the Blessed Sacrament, right? Spending time with the Blessed Sacrament is a good idea, and especially for Lent, great idea. You guys can do half an hour or an hour if you guys want to try. There are plenty of books. There are plenty of books to do the Holy Hour. I have some. I should have actually. Well, I have one right here to look at. This book is actually pretty good. If you guys have this, the Blessed Sacrament Prayer Book. It's one of the books that I have from Loretto Press. I think you can buy it. It's like $70, but this has lots of stuff, lots of suggestions, lots of prayers. But yeah, we should be spending time with the Blessed Sacrament, because that is Christ. His presence is there, and it's the easiest, the fastest way to speak to Christ directly. His body, soul, and divinity is in the Blessed Sacrament, and we should spend some time to speak to our Lord about the troubles that we have, maybe asking for advice or anything like that. Um, Especially now in Lent. Lent is a time for a more complete recollection of his sufferings, Christ's sufferings. And we have to remember that even though we can never endure the suffering that he has gone through in his passion, or even now, the sufferings that, of the insults, the blasphemies, and everything, we can try to unite ourselves in the most minimum way, to kind of tell our Lord that we're also there and we're trying our best to suffer with him. As Catholics, we're called to suffer with Christ, right? It's something that one of the things that scares people about Catholicism is basically our the road to sanctification is to suffer, and that's usually that scares people. But right, for Lent, should we must emotionally prepare to leave things behind, primarily sin, but also the things that make it easier to sin. Right. That's why we do our fast. I don't know what kind of sacrifices you guys are doing for Lent, but I hope you guys are doing more than just well, I'm gonna not eat chocolates, or this Lent I'm not gonna, I won't eat out as much, right? I think we should do more. I think if you're getting your feet wet back in the faith, I think it's I'm not gonna not going to look down on anybody who's just going back into the faith, and that's the best that they can do. But if you've been practicing your faith for anything longer than like 2 years, I think giving up chocolates, or well, I'm going to give up, I'm going to give up chocolates, or I'm not going to eat out, or maybe you guys should do a little more. One thing I think that would be easier, be a good way, is kind of spend more time praying. I would say if you're not praying the three the three rosaries a day, maybe you should do that. Maybe I should do that. Um, I need to pick that up. I need to start doing that a little more because I haven't been doing it, and it's a habit that I need to pick up again for Lent. And Lent's the perfect time to do it. But anyway, I hope you guys are spiritually prepared. I don't know if any of you guys are going to be doing the cold shower stuff. You don't take any, you take cold showers for Lent, but I hope you guys have a fruitful Lent, and I hope you guys have do penance that are equal to, equal to, I guess, the guilt that you might think you have. But one thing that I would say is, do things little by little. I think, like if you're gonna give up, let's say you're not gonna eat meat the entire Lent, minus Sundays, of course. Like you're not gonna eat meat this time. Maybe you're still gonna be eating. Maybe you're still gonna be eating your 3 meals a day, but maybe next Lent it's 2 meals a day. Maybe the one after that it's doing the 1 meal a day or whatever. Maybe it's praying more. Maybe it's spending time with the Blessed Sacrament. Maybe it's going to Mass, also going to Mass multiple times a week is a good idea. These are all examples that, maybe I'm brainstorming with you guys. Maybe some of you guys are doing it already. But like I said, Shrove Tuesday is important to. This is our last night before going into the Great Fast. Don't sue me. I think another. I think the. I think the. Oh man, I forget the Norbertines do that. The Great Fast. It is a great fast, I guess, but we're here at the eve before Lent, before Ash Wednesday, and like I said, just pray, spiritually prepare. Maybe read the Bible more if you haven't read the Bible. The perfect. I'm trying not to make the video too long, but it's kind of like we started for the year. I don't know how many of you guys did the Bible in a year and gave up, but hey, take it up again. Probably watch less TV if you guys binge a lot of TV, just watch less and try to read the Bible more. Like I said, plenty of options. I know you guys, I'm sure that you guys have your own penance, and it's a good penance. And if you haven't, if you're doing the I'm not eating chocolates, I'm not eating candy things, maybe step it up. That's the only, I guess, the only hating that I'm gonna do is that just step it up. If well, I'm not eating candy or something like that. Probably like, and even the I'm not eating meat on Fridays. Hey, step it up. Don't eat meat on Wednesdays either. But anyway, that's uh that's my thoughts for the readings of the day. Um, this is the Società Sacrari page. I have videos for rosaries. If you guys are interested in praying rosaries in Latin, I have the videos. You guys can slow it down. I think I do it slow in there, but if it's still fast, you can slow it down. But I invite you to join me and pray for my wife. Hopefully, I can do this, and you know, hopefully I can finish it. And see you guys soon.